Your local public television station presents Lakeland News at 10. News for Bemidji, Brainerd, and all of the Lakes Country. Dennis Wyman with the news, Stacy Christensen with the weather, and Justin Prince with your sports.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching tonight. I'm Jackson Brunner filling in for Dennis Wyman. Red Lake Nation band members gathered this morning to hear Tribal Chairman Darrell Seeke Sr.'s second State of the Band address. Our Mary Kielar took in the remarks at Seven Clans Casino.
I want to make comments on the challenges we have faced with the United States government. The U.S. government has failed to live up to their trust and fiscal responsibilities.
Tribal Chairman Darrell Seeke Sr. wasted no time getting into his State of the Band address to the Red Lake Nation this morning, starting out by outlining the tribe's efforts to keep their rights as a sovereign nation.
He also has camaraderie with politicians, whether they're truthful to him or not. He's good with them. Band
members from as far as the Twin Cities listened as the chairman outlined successes like the Red Lake Police, who have made it their mission to keep drugs off the reservation by creating a task force, seizing 3 pounds of meth and 4 pounds of heroin so far.
The task force has partnered with other programs and has become driving force behind some of the drug cases we currently have.
I do believe that he is honest when he speaks, and I loved everything that he said. It's growing. The crime is being taken care of, which it should be too.
He talked innovation too, as he described the 3-phase plan for the solar energy project.
We've kind of become the leader in that, and we think it's the right thing to do, and we've put together a great team of partners, and it's going to be big for us in the future.
Making sure that onlookers took notice that his last 20 months in office have been filled with ideas and progress.
For taking this time to listen to me and the listeners.
In Red Lake, Mary Kielar, Lakeland News.
Since Seeke took over, the tribe has seen 120 new jobs created on the reservation. A small town is recovering after a crash forced it to evacuate on Thursday. The explosion from a train's collision with a propane-filled tanker truck forced Callaway's 200-plus citizens to spend Thursday night elsewhere. The earliest they could return was noon on Friday. Nobody was killed in the accident, but 2 workers were injured. Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton is expected to meet with local town residents, local officials, and representatives of the Canadian Pacific Railway on Saturday. Major developments are in the ongoing battle against ISIS. Today, police in Belgium arrested a man suspected of taking part in Tuesday's deadly terrorist attacks, while in Syria, a top ISIS leader was killed. Steve Nannis has the details.
A shootout in the Belgian district of Schaerbeek has led to the arrest of a man officials say is linked to Tuesday's deadly terrorist attacks in Brussels. Witnesses say they heard 2 explosions, then gunfire. The person who was taken into custody was wounded, according to the local mayor. Police have been focused on this town since Thursday, when they raided a nearby apartment and found chemicals and an ISIS flag. Secretary of State John Kerry said Friday more attacks could be in the works.
We know that there are foreign fighters who have returned from Syria over a span now of about 5 years. That is the reason for people being vigilant and for being alert, and that's the reason for travel advisories and restraints.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon has confirmed that the number 2 leader of ISIS has been killed.
We are systematically eliminating ISIL's cabinet.
Abd al-Rahman al-Gadouli, who officials say oversaw the group's finances, was next in line to control day-to-day operations.
The removal of this ISIL leader will hamper the organization's ability to conduct operations both inside and outside of Iraq and Syria.
Al-Gadouli's death could be a major blow to an organization that is stepping up its efforts to attack Europe and the U.S. And as the war on ISIS rages on, the victims from Tuesday's attacks struggle to recover from the physical and emotional wounds. American survivor Mason Wells is counting his blessings.
I was so lucky. I was so lucky being how close I was.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
Kerry confirmed Friday that 2 Americans were killed in the Brussels attacks. A state representative from the Brainerd area says he'll run for office again. Josh Heintzemann represents District 10A, which includes over a third of Crow Wing County, including Brainerd and Baxter. In the current term, he serves on 3 different committees that take on issues from higher education to natural resources. Heintzemann says he's proud of the work he's done in slowing the growth of government and strengthening local schools, but that's not all.
There's some really neat opportunities we've had, like working on the veterans pension exemption, which I think that we're going to get that. And then Social Security pension, also Social Security benefit exemption from state income tax. A lot of constituent services work that we've enjoyed.
Heintzemann added that meaningful middle-class tax relief and transportation issues are high on his list for the future. In 2013, Crow Wing County Board partnered with Widseth Smith Knowlton to perform a physical needs assessment of the Crow Wing County Historical Museum. That assessment established deficiencies within the building structure, and now Crow Wing County plans to take action to maintain that historic Brainerd landmark. Our Chelsie Brown has the story.
Tattered shingles, worn down windows, and a stress fracture in the wall of the Crow Wing County Historical Museum are some of the indications that the facilities manager is looking into for repairs on the building.
We're addressing the outside shell of the building, so the brick and the mortar work on the outside shell and the windows. Obviously there's lots of artifacts in this building, so we want the envelope to be tight and secure so that we can prolong and keep these artifacts as long as possible.
And even with the creaks in the floor, the 99-year-old building that was once a sheriff's house and a jail only needs minor structural repairs.
It's keeping it so that there isn't future concerns. This building is on the historic register, so we want to make sure that we're maintaining it appropriately.
TC explained that the county was not selected for an overall grant for construction work in 2015, but they did receive a smaller matching funds grant from the Minnesota Historical Society of over $9,000 to proactively address the structural integrity.
There's been some problems with some of the remodels done in the past. I'm not saying they're all wrong, but we want to just address those and fix those problems so that we don't have any prolonged damage done to the building.
With the board's approval, the county plans to apply again for the larger grant to finish off its construction needs.
Hopefully get the award for matching contribution for those construction projects too, which would mean replacing the windows and updating the doors and sealing up the brick on the outside of the building so that it's nice and sealed up and we don't have sort of leaking and stuff like that you normally get with an old building.
And to maintain an artifact in the Brainerd community belonging to the citizens of Crow Wing County. In Brainerd, Chelsie Brown, Lakeland News.
The board also accepted the grant agreement and authorized a budget amendment of the 2016 budget, dedicating over $19,000 toward the project. A grocery store chain made a rather large donation today. Marketplace Foods presented a check on Friday morning to the Muscular Dystrophy Association as part of what's called the Shamrocks campaign. The over $10,000 check came from staff and customer donations gathered in the last few months. It passed last year's offering of almost $7,000.
Muscular Dystrophy Association and medical community throughout the nation are making great strides in finding ways to help young people deal with this disease, and any initiative that we can put forth to give them more recognition, give them support, it's kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling for our staff.
All right, good cause.